Hello learners of all ages, my name is Mr. Montgomery. I teach 4th and 5th grade math, and today we're going to be talking about solid figures. Now, solid figures are three-dimensional shapes where not all the sides are on the same plane. And part of those three-dimensional shapes can be called polyhedron. Poly means many, so it's very similar to polygons. So a polyhedron is a three-dimensional shape where all the sides are different types of polygons, and one of those types is called a prism. Now, a prism has two opposite side base, or I guess you could say that they are parallel to each other. Base is one of the faces that can be classified as a prism, and it can also be one of the places where a prism can sit. But a prism or any other three-dimensional shape has a couple of different key qualities. We have our faces, which are the flat surfaces of, or every single flat surface of a prism or a pyramid. You have your edges. That's where two of those faces meet. And then you have a vertice. Vertices are kind of like the corners where the edges meet up together. That would be the vertice. And every single type of prism has different types of face values, edges, and vertices. So you're gonna be getting a huge box, you and a partner, of different types of manipulatives when it comes to different types of prisms and pyramids. And speaking of pyramids, pyramids are basically polyhedrons with only one base, not a base on the other side. And they are classified, both actually are classified by the base shape. So this is a six-sided shape, so this will be a hexagonal prism. If I go to this one, well, this has two base sides, so this would be a triangular prism. Going over to here, we would have a rectangular prism. Then we would have our different types of triangles, and triangles are based as well on the bases. So this would be a regular pyramid with a square bottom. This would be a triangular pyramid where all the sides are of an equilateral triangle. Now your book also says that a cube is a rectangular prism with 6 identical square faces. So if you imagine like a dice or something, that would be considered a cube. And the other two types of shapes that aren't really classified, or they have their own special type of classification, pardon my reach for a second, is cones and cylinders, and I guess spheres too. But cones and cylinders have flat circular bases. Bases that are circles. And so if we take this apart, we'll have a circle, and eventually we would have a space where it would round out again, kind of like this. Now this, when we take apart any sort of three-dimensional shape, this is something called a net. Most people think a net is something that you capture something in, but a net shows us what a three-dimensional shape would look like on a two-dimensional plane. When it comes to a cylinder, it would have two circles for the bases, and more so a rectangle for part of the net. And the last shape is a sphere. It is perfectly round all the way around. It has no vertices and no edges. So your book says a sphere has no base. All right, my 5th grade friends, if you take a look at page 269, you'll see that they give you a lot of examples of solid figures and three-dimensional shapes. They have triangular prism, rectangular prism, pentagonal prism, square pyramid, hexagonal prism, cube, regular pyramid, triangular pyramid, pentagonal pyramid, hexagonal pyramid, cylinder, cone, and sphere. But the directions for 1, 2, 3, and 4 says which solid figure best represents the picture. Now, I am no artist. My prisms do not look like prisms, but I gave it my best shot. And so there are gonna be times in this chapter where you're gonna be asked to draw certain types of shapes. Just give it your best try. I need you to give your best guess on which solid figure is best represented by each picture. Go with the pictures in your book rather than the pictures on the board, but the pictures on the board are to help you figure out which solid figures I am talking about. If you have any questions about solid figures, please let me know when you come to class tomorrow.